When people talk about Slavic countries, Belarus often gets overlooked. Sandwiched between Russia and the European Union, it's a nation that many travelers skip entirely, not knowing what they're missing. Yet this quiet, landlocked country in Northern Europe has a unique charm, a complex history, and a cultural identity that deserves more attention. Today we peel back the curtain on Belarus, exposing its forests, culture, and beautiful women. Belarus is located in the heart of Eastern Europe, bordered by Poland to the west, Lithuania and Latvia to the northwest, Ukraine to the south, and Russia to the east. With an area of just under 27,600 square kilometers, it's roughly the size of the United Kingdom, but with only about 9 million people. Its central location made it a strategic territory throughout history, often contested, frequently invaded, and always shaped by its neighbors' ambitions. The landscape of Belarus is diverse, featuring vast forests, rolling hills, and numerous rivers and lakes. Over a third of the country is covered in woodland, making it one of the greenest nations in Europe. The Pripyat River flows through the southern part of the country, while the Dnieper River watershed dominates the eastern regions. This natural abundance contributes to the country's ecological significance, including the Belovezhskaya Pushcha National Park, home to the last remaining population of European bison.
If you're enjoying this journey so far, don't forget to like and share this video. Your support helps us share these types of videos with a global audience. Thanks. Now back to the show.
For centuries, the region now known as Belarus was a battleground between powerful empires. It was divided among the Russian Empire, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and later Austria-Hungary. During World War I, it was occupied by German forces, and after a brief period of independence following the Russian Revolution, it was absorbed into the Soviet Union in 1921. The devastation of World War II left deep scars on the country, both physically and culturally. Nearly a quarter of the population perished during the war, and much of the infrastructure was destroyed due to heavy fighting and Nazi occupation policies. After the war, Belarus played a prominent role within the USSR, serving as a major industrial and agricultural hub. Minsk, the capital, was rebuilt with grand Soviet architecture, symbolizing resilience and progress. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Belarus declared independence, stepping onto the world stage as a sovereign state for the first time in modern history. Since then, it has navigated a delicate balance between maintaining strong ties with Russia and seeking greater integration with the West, though political tensions have often complicated these efforts. So, what is life like in Belarus today? Well, winters can be brutally cold, especially in January when temperatures often drop below -20 degrees Celsius. That's -4 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're planning to visit, springtime or early September is ideal, when the weather is mild and the countryside bursts into color. While the economy has faced challenges, it still relies heavily on industry, agriculture, and services. Minsk, the capital, boasts a fascinating mix of architectural styles, from Soviet-era monoliths to modern glass towers, and much of the old infrastructure remains preserved, giving the city a distinct, almost timeless feel. The Palace of the Republic, Government House, and Victory Square are just a few examples of the city's imposing yet intriguing urban design. Beyond the capital, smaller cities like Brest, Grodno, and Vitebsk offer charming historical centers and rich cultural traditions. Culturally, Belarus is a blend of Slavic heritage, Soviet influence, and a growing sense of national identity. Traditional folk music, embroidery, and festivals continue to play a role in local communities, particularly in rural areas. The Belarusian people have maintained a strong connection to their customs despite decades of Russification and political upheaval. Local cuisine reflects this heritage with dishes such as draniki, grated potato pancakes, machanka, meat stew served over pancakes, and kolduni, meat-filled dumplings, being staples at family gatherings and restaurants alike. Safety is one of the more surprising aspects of life in Belarus. Despite relatively high alcohol consumption, crime rates are low, and the streets feel secure even late at night. The social atmosphere in cities like Minsk is vibrant, particularly in nightlife spots where young professionals gather in cafes and clubs. Pubs, theaters, and concert venues offer a lively cultural scene, especially during the warmer months when open-air events take place across the city. However, outside the capital, English is rarely spoken, so learning a few basic phrases in Russian or Belarusian can be very helpful. Russian remains the dominant language in everyday life and business, though efforts to revive the native Belarusian language have seen some success in recent years. In schools, students may learn both languages, and there are initiatives aimed at promoting Belarusian literature and media. That said, most public signage, official documents, and media broadcasts are in Russian. The Belarusian economy has experienced ups and downs over the past decade. The national currency is the Belarusian ruble, and while salaries might seem low by Western standards, so are many living costs. The minimum wage hovers around $170 per month, while average salaries range from $450 to $700. Renting an apartment in Minsk can cost $400 or more, and utilities, including electricity, water, and heating, are relatively affordable, averaging around $50 per month. Despite government subsidies and price controls, inflation and economic pressures have risen, partly due to migration from neighboring countries like Russia and Ukraine, which has affected prices and labor markets. Many skilled workers have moved abroad in search of better opportunities, contributing to a brain drain that impacts sectors such as IT, healthcare, and engineering. However, Belarus remains competitive in industries like machinery, chemical production, and food processing. In recent years, the government has sought to attract foreign investment through special economic zones, offering tax incentives and streamlined regulations. These zones, located near Minsk and other industrial hubs, aim to boost manufacturing and technology-based enterprises. Additionally, Belarus has developed a reputation as a regional IT center, with software development and outsourcing firms gaining international recognition. Agriculture also plays a significant role in the Belarus economy, with the country exporting dairy products, grains, and potatoes. The government maintains a strong presence in key sectors, with many large enterprises still state-owned. This model provides stability but can sometimes stifle innovation and private enterprise growth. Now, let's talk about something that often draws curiosity: Belarus women. In fact, there are more women than men in the country, over 5 million women compared to 4 million men. This imbalance is largely due to male migration, as many men leave in search of better job opportunities abroad. As a result, women play a prominent role in nearly every sector of society, including education, healthcare, government, and business. Education levels are generally high, with widespread access to higher education and strong literacy rates. Universities across the country offer quality programs, and women often pursue advanced degrees at rates comparable to men. In particular, fields like medicine, law, and finance see strong female representation. However, career advancement can sometimes be limited by lingering traditional attitudes about gender roles and workplace dynamics. Dating culture in Belarus is somewhat traditional, though evolving. Young people increasingly use dating apps like Tinder and Bumble, especially in urban areas. Still, relationships tend to develop quickly, and there's a certain seriousness to courtship that reflects broader societal values. Family approval and involvement in relationships are not uncommon, and emotional openness is sometimes tempered by a reserved demeanor. Gender roles remain more defined than in many Western societies, with expectations that men will take the initiative in romantic situations. Fashion and appearance norms in Belarus reflect a blend of practicality and elegance. Women often dress stylishly, regardless of the occasion, and modesty is valued, especially in more conservative environments. You'll see many women wearing skirts, dresses, and heels even during winter months, paired with heavy coats and fur hats. Makeup and grooming are taken seriously, and there's a general expectation of presenting oneself well in public. Friendships in Belarus tend to be deep and long-lasting. While men and women do interact socially, close friendships between genders can vary depending on regional attitudes and individual preferences. In urban centers, mixed-gender friendships are common, but in smaller towns, social circles may be more gender-segregated, particularly among older generations.
Curious to dive deeper into today's episode? Click the link in the description for a detailed article exploring this incredible country even further.
If you're thinking of visiting Belarus, entry is surprisingly straightforward. Citizens of most countries can enter visa-free for up to 30 days, and multiple entries are allowed within a 90-day period. Direct flights to Minsk operate year-round from major international hubs, making it easier than ever to explore the country. Airlines like Belavia, Lufthansa, Air France, and Qatar Airways offer regular connections to the capital. Upon arrival, visitors staying more than 5 days must register their address with local authorities, a process usually handled by hotels or landlords. Health insurance is also required for those not covered by Schengen agreements, so make sure to arrange coverage before your trip. Border officials typically ask for proof of accommodation and return tickets, so it's wise to have these documents ready. Once inside the country, getting around is manageable via public transportation. Minsk has an efficient metro system, buses, and trams, while inner-city travel is facilitated by trains and long-distance buses. Taxis are available, though ride-hailing apps like Uber and Yandex.Taxi operate in the capital. Car rentals are possible, but driving conditions can be challenging, especially in rural areas where road signs may be sparse. Exploring beyond the capital opens up a wealth of experiences. The Mir Castle Complex, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, offers a glimpse into medieval fortifications and aristocratic life. The Nesvizh Castle, another UNESCO-listed site, showcases Renaissance and Baroque architecture, along with extensive gardens and a historic library. For nature lovers, the Pripyat River floodplains and the Naliboki Forest provide opportunities for hiking, birdwatching, and wildlife observation. Despite its accessibility, Belarus maintains strict laws and regulations that visitors should be aware of. For instance, dogs are not allowed in public parks, and cycling in these spaces is prohibited. Smoking and drinking alcohol in public areas are also banned, reflecting the country's emphasis on public order. Littering is taken seriously, with fines imposed for violations. Perhaps most notably, Belarus retains the death penalty, one of the few European countries to do so, and it is occasionally enforced for serious crimes. While this does not affect tourists directly, it underscores the importance of respecting local laws and customs. Additionally, photography restrictions apply near government buildings, military installations, and border zones. Always check if you're in a restricted area before taking pictures. Public behavior is expected to be orderly and respectful. Public intoxication is frowned upon, and police may ask individuals to move along if they appear disruptive. All of this might sound rigid, but it contributes to a sense of stability and safety that permeates daily life. Travelers who respect local customs and laws will find Belarus to be a welcoming, orderly, and intriguing destination. Whether you're wandering through the historic streets of Minsk, exploring the ancient forests of Belovezhskaya Pushcha National Park, or sampling traditional dishes like draniki, potato pancakes, and machanka, a hearty meat stew, Belarus offers a rich and authentic experience. In a continent full of well-trodden tourist paths, Belarus stands out as a hidden gem. It's a place where Soviet architecture coexists with medieval ruins, where nature thrives in vast, untouched landscapes, and where the resilience of the Belarusian people shines through despite decades of political and economic uncertainty. It may not be the easiest destination to reach, nor the flashiest in terms of marketing, but for those willing to look beyond the headlines, Belarus promises a journey filled with discovery, warmth, and quiet beauty.
Next time, we're diving into something even more unexpected. Make sure you're subscribed to come along. Don't forget to check out our other videos on the right for more amazing stories. For more details about this video, travel guides, and travel-related items, be sure to check out our blog at www.travelwithsave.com. Thanks for watching. See you in the next adventure.